Hey, what's up, guys? Real quick before we get into this episode, know that there is some explicit language. I don't recommend listening to this one with your kids. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Tactical Baby Gear episode. We got the show on the road, and we are with Miss Kaitlyn Neville, a.k.a. TheWifeSpot. This is hands down the funniest episode I've ever done, and it's not something you want to listen to with your kids. I don't know what else to tell you from there, but sit back, relax,
back and buckle up,
and enjoy the show.
We're going.
TheWifeSpot is in the house.
Here
we got the show on the road. We are here in Salt Lake City, Utah, with TheWifeSpot. How's it going?
Here I am. It's going.
There's no telling where this is going to go. And I feel like I say that with a lot of guests, but like with you, there's really no telling. So I hope everyone listening is like prepared for the nonsense that may come out here.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going.
Did we get the extra insurance on this house in case it like burns down? Because TheWifeSpot's bringing the heat.
Bringing the heat.
Oh, man. I don't even know where to start. Let's start quickly. Why don't you tell these guys a little bit about yourself?
Okay.
Her real name is Kaitlyn.
I do have a real name. Yes, believe it or not, I do.
But everyone now calls you WifeSpot.
Everybody,
just like ManSpot.
Nobody knows my name
Well, let's start with this.
Okay.
This WifeSpot is the wife of the ManSpot, which
Correct.
you guys have seen that episode. He's, one of our near and dear friends and does a lot of stuff for us. But so we were like, well, we have to have the WifeSpot.
The better half, duh.
Clearly.
Here I am. So my name's Kaitlyn Neville. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm married to a bearded man. I have 3 very small children. They were 3 under 3.5 when I had them. I work for a health and wellness company. I do that from home, and I run that business from my phone. And most of the time, I really just try not to die. Really just trying to survive my days and not jump off a bridge, to be honest. So that's really about it for me. That's what I do.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yep.
You're not even actually from Utah originally.
I'm not.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from upstate New York. I was born and raised there. I know.
That might explain a
I
little
wasn't
bit.
even raised with like guns or anything like that. So when I moved to Utah to go to college, I was like, okay, whatever. And then I met Vaughn, the ManSpot. Holy shit snacks. When I found out that when we were like dating, right, I found out that he slept with a gun under his pillow, and I will never forget this, and I'm sure he would love to tell this story, but let me just lay this out there that I found out and I just slept in the guest room. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, no way, this motherfucker's gonna kill me. Like, what? I freaked out because I was so like, I did not grow up with guns. I didn't grow up with like hunting. Like, what do you mean? And then I educated myself on firearms and heated. And now I love guns. God bless. Here I am. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize you went to college here in Utah, but you guys met working together.
We did. So we met doing sales. He used to knock doors doing sales
Alarm
for 11
systems.
years. Yeah, alarm systems. And then I was doing that with another company. And then I joined the company he was with. And we were both kind of sales reps. We were both what I thought was friends, but obviously he was obsessed with me from the jump, okay? But I was like, hey, whatever. I was like dating this other guy. I was not intrigued. And then I met him and he was like, oh my God, we're friends. I'm breaking up with my girlfriend, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool, sure, we're still friends. And then I don't even know. One thing led to another and he's like, you're going to be my wife. And I was like, okay, cool. And now here I am.
And now you're going to have my kids.
Yeah. And then I had like 1 million kids and now here I am. That's literally it. But yeah, so we met in the South. We met in Olive Branch, Mississippi, just a small little town in the South. So we lived in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas for like
Texas.
3 years, Texas. Yeah, like we were all over the place. And then he decided to quit his job and become the ManSpot. And that was about almost 5 years ago.
He gives a lot of credit to you for that.
I thank you. It's due. It's overdue.
Have you guys watched? We did like this documentary style interview video with Vaughn, which tells a lot more of that story. It's really cool. It's really interesting. I think it's something that you guys might want to watch at some point. It's on the YouTube channel, right? And I think it's what's it called?
Like who is the ManSpot?
Who is the ManSpot?
Yeah.
Right. Thanks. I'm glad you guys cleared that up for
Yeah.
me. Go look for it. It's
got
really
you.
good. It's a super interesting video, and to hear more of his story and how he came about. But yeah, so crazy. All right, so there's something that you said in there that made me want to ask another question. Then I started talking about the documentary. But so he attributes a lot of him going full time into that to you kind of pushing him or supporting him, I should say, into like, yeah, I got you. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. So what was that transition like for you guys? Actually, well, I want to hear that.
Okay.
The transition from like him being like having a full-time job to going full-time influencer. Was that?
It was a trip. So we were living in Houston, Texas. We had our first child. He was a little over a year old. I was losing my mind because I had stopped selling and I was just full-time stay-at-home mom. And we were in just like an apartment. I had no family there. He was gone from about 10 a.m. until usually like 11 at night. I never saw him. I was losing my mind. I was like, I am not going to survive this. Like, this is not the job for me. I was like panicked. Anyway, he wasn't happy either. He had worked this job for so long. And like, I knew like Vaughn is just one of a kind. There is nobody like him. He is the most creative person I know. Like, he really is amazing. And I knew he was like always destined for more. Like, he's always been such a character. He's so good at shit that like he had to get out of that job. I was like, there's no way you can just knock door. Like, what? You need like a reality show. Who are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so he had 60,000 Instagram followers. And like back then, which was like 4 or 5 years ago, that was like a pretty big deal. So he had 60,000. He's like, listen, he had talked to like a guy in Utah and he was like, hey, I think you should, become this character and this, that, and the other. Like, I'll give you a job offer, blah, blah, blah. Come move back to Utah and do social media marketing full time. So he's like, all right, I think I'm going to quit this job. I'm just going to do Instagram. And I was like, what? Who? Like, what do you mean? And I was kind of nervous for a minute. I was like, okay, this is what I need to know. Will our mortgage and our bills still be paid? And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay. And we get to go home to Utah and not live in a fucking apartment and go back to our house because we have our house. We've had our house for like 9 years. And we left that. And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay. Yeah, let's go. And he was like, what? And I was like, well, I knew he would be successful at it because I had no doubt in my mind.
Right.
I believed
he doesn't want to fail at things.
No
he's
way.
Like, he goes gung ho into all of it.
And he's so just naturally good at like entertaining and like speaking, everything. Like, he's knocks everybody out of the park. And so I was like 100% like, let's do it because I knew he could. Like, I just knew he did.
Yeah.
And then we moved home and he kind of just started to like post like these patriotic pictures and stuff. And people really like grasped onto that. And then it just kind of became like a whole family dynamic. They're like, oh, you have one baby. And then we got pregnant with our second. And then it just kind of trickled. And now it's like this whole family fucking affair. And here we are.
Third baby.
And then the third baby. And now I'm an ex-prego.
That's what I was going to talk about. You refer to yourself as the ex-prego, which I think is so funny because you were pregnant for so long. So long. Because it was baby after baby after baby. I mean, you had 3 under 3.5. And none of them were like, yeah.
Awful.
Like Irish triplets.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It's crazy.
It's so bad. Yeah. I mean, they're super cute. God bless. Like, love my kids, okay? But damn, Daniel, that was like no joke. It just seems like a blur. I feel like I just got like wasted and blacked out for 3 years.
I was the same way. So, and I've told the story on the podcast before. I got my wife got pregnant like I don't know, like a month after we started dating. So like the very beginning part of our relationship was always referring to like, yeah, remember when you were pregnant? Or like this happened. Oh wait, but you were pregnant. Or like something would happen. And I was always referring back to like something, but she was pregnant because, she was pregnant. And then there was like a little bit of a time period. And then we decided to have a second one because we wanted to have at least 2 kids close-ish in age. But it was like for the first, I don't know, several years of a relationship, she was pregnant the whole time. So yeah, it's crazy.
I put in my time.
Now we've got more time.
I've been out for over a year now. I know.
Been out of the big house.
Been out. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, then, so here's what's interesting. So then from his Instagram following, you kind of took the same route where you started to gain a following because you're one of a kind as well, by the way, if you didn't know.
I know.
You're kind of a big deal.
Tell me more. Yeah. And it was weird because I remember when I created TheWifeSpot, I had no intention of doing this. And I remember the exact day it happened. I was pregnant with Ace, our second child. And it was like maybe like January or February. And Vaughn said something to me and he's like, I was like, I think I need to change my Instagram name or something. And he's like, well, you better make it TheWifeSpot before another bitch does. And I was like, what? I was like, holy fuck, okay. And I changed that shit so fast. I was like, oh my God, he's right. What if somebody else claims this? That's my husband. I panicked. I changed it. I've been TheWifeSpot since. haven't gone back. That's literally what went down.
Then the kids have theirs. There was the little spot for littles.
We had the baby spot. And then I was like, hey, we got too many kids. I'm done with this shit. I can barely keep up mine. But I just kind of like would post our life because people were so intrigued with Vaughn. But like I would just post the shit I would do. And most of that was like parenting or like with my kids or like clothes or whatever the hell. And it just kind of happened. I never really like tried to necessarily build it. Like it wasn't as big of a deal to me as it was like that's Vaughn's career.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, whatever. And it just, people like just saw like, oh, wow, he has a family, he has a wife. Like I'm going to follow her too. Or like, holy shit. I like, as if it were guys, they're like, wow, my wife should follow his wife. Cause like they can probably relate because she deals with his shenanigans. I pull shenanigans. And we're both just really relatable to people. I mean, we're normal fucking people.
Super relatable. And I think that's why you have succeeded. And Vaughn has a little bit more, and until recently, I think it was more of a character through that channel.
Yep.
And now it's become more him.
100%.
And he's a lot more authentic, and especially with stories being a thing now where you can kind of be more less like more like out of character through stories, but like a lot of the content that gets posted to the feed are the skits and the videos, which is what he's known for.
Right.
So that's like kind of the character through that, and then kind of behind the scenes and the stories. But I think everyone latched on to you because you're so real, you're so authentic, you tell it exactly how it is. There's no like sugarcoating it, as you guys have picked up a little bit. Like
sometimes I kind of wish there was like, but then I'm like, you know, I'm so glad I am like this. That, like, but it's hard because I just can't keep it in.
Right.
I just
and
have
so
to
many
let
people
it out.
post like just these highlights moments, and then here you are like, there's so many women who are not going to put themselves on Instagram with no makeup and this and that and in their pajamas with kids puking all over them.
Totally.
And you're like, here I am just trying to survive this mom life. Like, what do you want? What?
I really am.
I mean, that's it.
It's just like the hard truth.
It's so real, and people appreciate that, which I think is why you've been building this following, and people love you. It's like authentic following. It's not.
They're loyal as fuck. Like the comments are lit. I love it because my followers, like anytime I'm like, ooh, I should comment back to that. I'm like, nope. They're going to take the reins. And they go and they're like, how dare you attack the wife spot? Who are you? And I'm like, wow, God bless. Thanks guys. Like spare me a breakdown today. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh my God. Well, so you've turned that loyal following, then you've turned into a business for yourself. So
totally
now
have.
You're a businesswoman.
I am. I was meant for this.
Tell us what you're doing from WifeSpot HQ.
So from WifeSpot HQ, I work for a company called Arbonne. It's a health and wellness company. We have nutrition products, skincare, cosmetics, everything's like vegan, gluten-free. The main difference from this company and any other is we just have a super strict ingredient policy. I had one of my really close friends who I went to high school with. We had like our babies at the same time together. We have struggled together. She reached out to me a couple years ago about Arbonne. Was up my ass. I rejected her like literally probably 15 times. I was like, no, like it's not, I'm not, no. It was like a Mary Kay thing. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not about it, right? So I kept like blowing her off. And then finally I was like, because it was weird. It was such a weird like life moment for me because during this whole time I had just had Ace, our second baby. I got pregnant 3 months postpartum with Rebel, our third baby. So I just got pregnant again. I was really suicidal. I was like, wow, not like I'm fine. But like, I was there. Like, I was like, what? How am I going to have 3 kids? I just had 2. Like, what do you mean? Anyway, and I kept thinking like, shit, I need something for me again. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom now, but like, I missed like working. Like I missed like talking to people all the time because you're home and you're like, wow, I only talked to like Susie at the fucking checkout at Target, right? Like I need some more adult interaction, okay? I need to feed like my soul, right? But I feel like it's so hard because you become a mom, and especially like stay-at-home moms, you really just lose yourself. You have to like figure out who the fuck you are again, right? Like it's a trip and a half. You're like, what do I even like to do? Because then you have free time and you're like, I don't even know anymore. Like, what do I do? It's kind of like you're just like broken down to like a base model, and then you have to like rebuild up. And this whole time she was up my ass about Arbonne. I was like, shit, like, should I start a blog? Should I start this? I was like, what do I even like to do? Like, what do I even enjoy doing? And then I finally decided to like try out some of the products because I've always been into like makeup and skincare, right? And so I tried them and I was like, okay, cool. These are pretty chill. I was like, but I don't know if I want to like sell this. Like, that just seems like a lot of work right now. And I was like, I'm pregnant with my third baby, puking my brains out. And then we talked one time, like she told me, she's like, yeah, I made like $3,000 or something. And I was like, what? the fuck? Off of makeup and like skincare. I was shocked. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, this could maybe work for me. I was like, this could be chill because then that way I could use $3,000 and go to Target and like not have to fucking tell Vaughn, right? Because like,
I mean, he buys guns without telling you.
but like it was nice because like luckily Vaughn had made it so that I didn't have to work. But like even that aside, I needed something for me. I was fucking losing it.
Right.
And then I just kind of jumped in and I just started incorporating the products into my life. And all I would do is post them. I'd be like, hey, I would just show people what I was doing on a daily basis. I'm like, hey, I'm washing my face with this. It was nothing crazy, nothing like no big presentation of it or anything. I just showed them how I incorporated Arbonne into my life and people were like, what the fuck? What is this? And then they wanted to use it because they saw how well it was working for me. And then they were like, well, wait a minute. This is working for her as a mom of almost 3 kids. How is she doing this? If she can do it, I can. And then it just kind of exploded. And all these people joined my team and they were like, a lot of moms. And they were like, whoa, like, how do you do this? And it's like, you just do. You just have to put in the time. Like you absolutely have to put in the time. But it's like now it's like my calling.
And then
totally.
It's there's a payoff.
100%. And like I do it from home. I don't have to wear pants if I don't want to. It's really nice. Like I use all the products every single day. Vaughn uses them, like my kids use them. And it really is just like the perfect job to fit my lifestyle and it fits a lot of other people's lifestyles as well. So it's nice that you don't have to like be a certain person to be successful at it. Just if you put in the time and effort and hard work, like you'll be successful. It's kind of crazy, I know.
Yeah, and you've had a lot of success with it.
Yeah,
like you're kind of a big deal.
I mean, basically. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's been really kick-ass.
It's a really cool, inspiring story because I know that there's a lot of moms. I don't know how many moms are listening. I think this is more dudes listening, but but it might be information that they can translate to their wife that's staying at home, losing their mind, looking for something to do that they can kind of do on their time.
100%. I really don't like, and people always ask me like, how many hours do you put in a week? And I'm like, it's not really like that. I usually like do a power hour where like if I get my kids down at night, I make it work for me, right? You can make it. That's the beauty of it is that you can fit it in whenever, as long as you're consistent and you just put in your time and you're coachable. And like my job is to literally just teach and train people to do exactly what I do, to just live a healthier lifestyle and how can they market that to other people. And it really isn't like that hard if you think about it. It's a pretty simple thing. And then the payoff is just so nice. Like now we have a full-blown second income. Pray to God I retire his ass soon because I'm like, okay, you can stay home. I want to leave. Okay, that's the goal here. But we have a full-blown second income. That's chill because what if something happened to Vaughn? What if like he broke his fucking leg? I don't even know. You never know what could happen.
You're not completely reliant
Then we have a second income. God bless. Like, you're welcome. Anyway, that's nice. But also it's like you just get to do something you love because the results that I see from people using these products are like diabetics or people that like had really bad acne or this, that, and the other. And it genuinely helps them. And that's what makes it worth it for me, that it's like, cool, I'm actually like helping people do this and live a better, healthier lifestyle. And then they can make an income from it too. And it's not taking time away from like their family or their kids. And I'd say like the only con about it is that, yeah, you have to get uncomfortable, but I'm okay with being uncomfortable now so I can be comfortable in the long run. Like,
sure.
It's a very small sacrifice I make and it just takes a little bit of time and it's 100% worth it. Like the trips, like I earned a car from it. Like it's pretty fucking dope.
I mean, you roll around in a Mercedes.
I roll around in a Benz. Benz gang. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, we say that a lot is, with parenting and a lot of first time parenting tips that we give people is like, just get comfortable being uncomfortable. Totally. There's so much unknown in parenting. So if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable, you can kind of do anything.
100%.
It's really interesting.
Yep. You just got to be good with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally. That's really cool. I'm glad you've had a lot of success with that. That's been fun to watch because I remember before all that happened, it was like, oh, what's WifeSpot up to now? Yeah. She's the boss lady now. It's going to be the boss spot. So all right. So you had 3 kids. How old are they all now?
4, 2, and 1. Damn. I know. I can't.
What's been the craziest stage for you up till Little's being 4? What's been the craziest stage for you?
Probably when we just had Rebel. So when I first had all 3, it was all like in diapers. Fresh, all in diapers. 3. So it was like, I felt like I was in a fucking war zone. Like every day I would wake up and I literally felt like I was in a helicopter and I would get dropped into a war zone and it was like, okay, survive. That's how I felt every day for like a while. Like the first year. Like it was, and I accepted it. I was like, okay, like we got to go one thing at a time. Like I really had to check myself, but it was just so much. Like it got to the point where I didn't know if it was like normal to feel that way. Like I had to bring this up to my therapist and be like, listen, you know, like there are some days where I want to get in my car and just like not come back. And he's like,
I think that's a real thing.
He's like, you're good. Like this is how it is though. Like you have 3 small children. And I'm like, cool. Okay. I was like, I don't feel like jumping off a bridge. Like I say this, but I really wouldn't. Okay. But like, I don't feel that way. Like I don't want to like harm my kids or anything. Like, I wasn't depressed. It's just so much.
It's a lot.
It's just a lot. It's a major adjustment. Like, and so many people, they're always like, well, it's so hard going from like 2 to 3 kids. I'm like, fuck that. Going from 0 to 1. Are you kidding? Like, it's such a shell shock. Like you go from having like minimal responsibilities to like a fucking person. Like what? You got to keep them alive times 3. What? And yourself.
Yeah. Well, you know, but 4. These are the things that people don't talk about.
They don't.
Which is why you felt like, is this normal?
Yes.
And that's why I think it's important to talk about this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And to let the rest of the other parents know that like, hey, that's the way parents feel. When you have, even with just one kid, when you're like,
totally,
there's not a break from this. They're constantly crying. They need something.
God. It is
somebody
like unreal.
Needs something from me always, whether it's the husband or the wife needs something or the kid needs something or not the dog. And then and you're like, can I, it's just,
like a fucking
it gets
hurricane.
Overwhelming, very overwhelming.
God.
And it's a totally normal feeling.
Yeah. It is unbelievable. And you just got to like kind of slow it down. I got to check myself. Sometimes you got to go like lock yourself in your closet for 5. Okay. Like have a moment, maybe shed a couple tears. If you're there, that's okay. But then like, you know that you're going to keep going. Like people always ask me like, how do you do it? And I'm like, what do you mean? How do I do it? I have to do it.
Yeah,
like,
there is no choice.
They'll die if I'll die. Like, I wish I did have a choice, but like, I don't have a choice. Like, these are my kids and here I am. Like, this is my job. This is what I have to do. I have to keep these 3 little people alive and happy and well. And
there's been plenty of times where it's even an additional like work for you because, you know, Vaughn travels a lot.
100%.
A lot of times you're like,
a lot of times I want to stab him too, like add him to the list, right? Like he's there. I'm like, where are you? Yeah, I definitely.
He seems like he loves being a dad though.
He really does. Vaughn definitely he was ready though. He was ready to be a dad. He was like the ultimate uncle. I knew like he was going to be the best dad. I was like, okay, now listen. I felt like I wasn't ready to have kids. I mean, but then again, Vaughn and I have 9 years between us.
That's true. Yeah,
he was like, old man River. Like he's like, let's get a nice.
Super young.
I was like a nice, fresh, young capsule for him. He's like, awesome. She has great birthing hips. We've got this in the back. Here I am. Like I feel like he had this plan the whole fucking time. Like. I don't know. But anyway, and it's just a lot because then like he's gone and then when he is home, it's like, oh, I need you to film. I got to be like an Academy Award winning actress, you know?
Which you kill it at. It's so funny. I love, and we've done skits together with in some of our videos and it's always so funny.
I just have to be myself. Like that's how it is. That's all I can do. You're your own character. I'm like, all right, here I am. I don't even know. Yeah, no, it's a trip.
How much joy do you get out of the skits where you get to like beat ManSpot up?
Those I do get excited. I get even more pissed though in it because like he's like, hey, wait, we got to do it again. I actually like, fun fact, hate filming with Vaughn. Like it's probably my least favorite thing. It really is because Vaughn has like, it's funny because I know when it's coming. So Mark, our videographer, they'll like try to butter me up, right? They'll like beat around the bush like 1,000 times. They're like, so what are you doing tomorrow? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like being a mom, doing the damn thing. What's up? And I'm like, oh, okay, just wondering. And then they're like, well, you know, we were thinking about doing this skit. And they have to like, because they're so used to me being a psychopath of a pregnant woman and walking on eggshells that like, I'm still like that, even though I'm not prego, okay? But like, I can keep a lid on it. But they're like so fucking worried. I'm like, what do you think I'm going to do? Stab you? Maybe. I don't know. But they're so worried. And anyway, so when he asked me, I'm like, fuck, okay, I guess. And I just make it such a big deal. But it's a lot though, like all the time and having to do this, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm like not in the mood to like do this because it's not like you don't always get the shot on one take. I mean, most of the time I do because it's me, okay? And plus I know like, hey, I'm going in, I'm getting this shit done. Like I'm going to give this my all in the moment, like not laugh, like keep a straight face, get the job done. Like I just look at it as like, okay, cool. I just need to
job, do it.
Yeah, it's just a job. and just get it done and stop bitching. That's
Right.
how I would have to tell myself. Then I get it done. I'm like, God bless, you're welcome. And then it does amazing. And I'm like, you're welcome again. It's fine. And then he leaves on a business trip. And I'm like, okay, fuck me. Sure. This is literally my life. I am like, yeah, no, we're there.
Like, I don't even...
We're stuck in the thing.
Oh, gosh.
Woo.
All right, so we were talking about the kids.
We were talking about the kids.
4, 2, and 1.
Yes.
The craziest stage.
I'd say terrible twos.
I think 3 is worse than 2.
You know, going from like 2 to 3, like right on the cusp.
And it seems really bad at the time, right? So everyone's like, oh, the terrible 2s. And then around 18 months, they start being little punks.
Yes.
And you're like, damn, terrible 2s started
But then you know
early.
what? You're right. I'm gonna retract that statement. I am gonna go with the 3s because you know what? Like Ace is kind of in terrible 2s, but Axel, okay, I thought 2s were bad. And I remember posting about this on my Instagram stories when he was 2, like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. And people were like, I'd get these fucking messages. And they were like, just wait until he's 3. Terrible 3s. And I was like, and anyway, and then he turned 3 and I was like, oh my fucking God, what did I do? Like, who is this spawn of Satan? And the fucked up part about this entire situation is that he is so similar to me, which makes it worse. Cause you're like, fuck, I did this. I made this. It's like they just take like the worst parts of you and they just like exploit it. They're like always yelling, saying things you do. I'm like, what? Who are you? How did this happen? And then you just basically start questioning your entire existence. That's how that goes down. So I'm going to agree with the terrible 3s. That's how it is. I can't. I know. Take it in. Swallow it down. This is me. This is a peanut gallery. I honestly am going to just write a book one day of just shit. Just telling people about shit. It's fine.
That's the title.
Yeah, just shit. I'm fine. I'm doing great. How about you? Good chat. Good fucking chat.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh. We're here. Bring in the heat.
This is going to be like, I'm not going to stop laughing.
No.
This is going to be like the dad joke video with Vaughn, where I couldn't stop laughing even before I told the joke.
But it's the best when you're there. Yeah,
Oh,
I
my
got you.
God. Well, that's real life for you. I mean,
Real shit.
As I said before, she doesn't sugarcoat anything.
No.
That is so funny. How's little... So you've got 2 boys.
2 boys.
And 1 girl. How's little Rebel Rose doing?
Rebel Rose is a peach.
She's
is
awesome.
the
She's
best
super
little
sweet.
girl. She is so fucking cute. God bless. But she's a pistol. And it's honestly kind of terrifying to see her like this because she's, 16 months. Okay. So she's still really little, but the attitude. But then I'm like so proud of
She
it.
gave me a look yesterday.
I know,
that was
but
like,
I'm
what's
so
up?
proud of it too, because I'm like, fuck yeah, stand your fucking ground. Like, let them know. Like, it makes me like, okay, like, and especially like, even with like littles, like there's certain tendencies. Like one time he was like, oh shit, mommy. And he used it in perfect context. So I was like, I mean, can I be mad? I don't know. I'm kind of proud of that. Like, I'm just saying.
I've heard him say a few things in perfect context, and I was like,
I mean,
I'm kind of impressed.
I'm gonna take all the credit for that, okay? But no, she's good. She's a dream. God bless. I finally got a girl. I was really, God knew I needed a girl to like save my life, okay? Because I was totally outnumbered. I was like, I'm fucked, okay?
yeah, that's
like,
how I feel with my girls. Ay.
I just love her. I don't know how I lived without her, and I'm glad there's only one of her.
Yes.
So, just
Yeah.
like me.
And then there's Fatty.
Yeah. Then there's Ace. Yeah, he is tick. So he's going to probably be in the NFL. I'm going to be an NFL mom.
He is huge. That's why they call him Fatty.
Yeah,
he's like,
he's big.
Huge.
He's a very large 2-year-old. He is 2 years, 2 months. He's just massive, off the charts. And he is just such a lover. He is so happy, just so nice, so giving. Axel's the complete polar fucking opposite. Ace and Rebel are both Leos, fun fact. I'm all about signs, right?
Uh-huh.
Vaughn's a Leo, okay? But let me tell you something. Ace was supposed to be a Virgo, but I had him 2 weeks early. Rebel was supposed to be a what's before a Leo? Maybe Cancer, I think it is. She was supposed to be that. But so Rebel's born on July 23rd, the start of Leo, and Ace was born on August 22nd, the end of Leo. Fun fucking fact.
Does that mean anything?
It does mean, it means they're just like lovable. They're just like Vaughn. Like they're super lovable, like just super, everybody loves them. They're just happy. They're just like giving. And then there's Axel. Okay. And he's like me, but he's not a Virgo. He's an Aries. But we're just type A, fucking particular. Like Vaughn's super type B, relaxed, go with the flow.
He is controlled chaos.
Yeah.
He is, and I'm a lot like that.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. So controlled chaos. So do you guys butt heads a lot in that regard of like you're super like
Axel
everything's got to be? No, you and Vaughn.
Oh yeah. Totally. This is like one of the biggest issues.
let's
When
hear
I
about
like broke it down to like my therapist, I was like, okay, I'm going to make this real fucking simple. I'm a type A Virgo. He's a type B Leo. Okay. Plain and simple.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. And yeah, so he is like so relaxed. So like, let me give you an example of where this has been an issue. When we travel together, okay? When I travel with Vaughn, I think about ejecting myself out of the emergency row more times than I would probably like to admit. If we can even make it through the TSA check, okay? Like, honestly, if we can even make it past the fucking curb without him forgetting something, or like when we go through security, no shit, every time, which we fly a lot together, there's always something like, oh, a gun rail, oh, like a
some
50
bullets.
Cal, like what? Not like a 50 cal bullet. Like there's this, that, and it's like the TSA guys are like, what? I'm like, take him, like just take him away. Like he's a threat. He is. You go, and it's like so. Then we get that, but he's just not like savvy. Like another thing is like, you know, the show The Amazing Race.
No, I mean I know of it, but I don't watch TV.
My
or
dream
anything.
is to win that show one day. I love traveling. Like I'm in it to fucking win it. Vaughn could never be my partner on that show because he is not a traveler. And we've had this conversation. Like, I have to replace you. Like, you're not there. Like, he's just not coordinated in the sense of like, okay, east, west, south, what, like what gate, like what terminal. Oh my God. Like when he flies alone, I am stressed. I'm like, he's going to get out. He's going to end up somewhere he shouldn't be. Like, I am so concerned. Like, I'm not even kidding. And like, luckily now, like he doesn't drink anymore. But like before when he was drinking, I was like, oh fuck. Like I'd have to check in every like 10 minutes. Like, so like, where you at? And he's like, oh, I'm at the bar. I'm like, okay. Like, are you at the gate yet? Like, you want me to like tell you, get the terminal map out for you? Like, what's up?
That's
How
Alex.
can I help?
You and
Totally.
Alex are the same way.
Totally. 100%.
It's so funny.
Vaughn is just, that's not his realm. That's not what he does. That's what I do.
That's why I'm so
I take
glad
charge. Like, I'm like, okay, let me be in charge of everything because I can get it done and I know it's going to be done the right way.
Right.
Like, it got to the point in our marriage where I just kind of stopped asking him to do certain things. Like, the dishes, or like he takes out the garbage. That's like the one task he's got to do. Okay. Cause that I know he can't fuck up, but like the dishes, if he loads the rack wrong, I'm like, like I'm like getting hot. I'm like, oh my God, like I need a pill or something. I got to calm down. Like this is too much. Like my OCD kicks in, my type A control freak micromanaging kicks in. I'm like, and then he's always like, everything's fine. What do you mean? The house would be burning down. I'm like, it's fine. What do you mean? Like, he's so nonchalant. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Woo, big issue. But we make it work.
I love you guys. You're like such like a. I don't know. I love the two of you together. It's amazing.
Got an interesting dynamic
It's
going.
too funny.
Yeah, he's something else.
I'm glad to have Alex in that regard. Like I'm not disorganized, but I'm very much I have a lot of like controlled chaos, and there's a lot of times where he worries about. He's like you, like he is worried about every little detail, which is great.
Totally.
And when we travel, he worries enough for like 5 people. So I don't concern myself with what gate we need to be at, what time. I'm usually on my phone trying to do something, work, text somebody something.
Oh,
and
totally
I just like walk behind him and follow him wherever I need to go.
100%. He's like tailing behind me. And another thing is I'm just a quick person, right? I like to walk fast. I like to talk fast. Like I'm always on a time constraint, I feel like, because I have kids. Like I'm just so used to only having like a window of time.
Right.
Whereas like time is not a thing for him. He's like, oh, we're here for a good time, not a long time. I'm like that too though, but in another sense. And he is just like all over the place. And I'm like, okay, like where you would be lost without me, obviously. He knows this. He tells me all the time. Duh. It's fine.
I don't have that dynamic with my wife really. She's very scheduled, like way more than I am. Like I'm not late for things. Like my scheduling wise, like if I'm supposed to be somewhere, I'm somewhere, and I got the details for that, and that's not a problem. But she is like, if we're not 15 minutes early, in her mind, she's like an hour late and she's freaking out.
Oh yeah,
and like has to be there 15 minutes early.
Totally,
and it's like
totally
a problem.
Like it's
and
the worst when like Vaughn is just such a pack rat hoarder. Like he has so much shit all the time.
Props.
Yeah, gotta do it for content. And like
I totally get that though. As somebody that
I
makes
get
a lot
it
of
too.
content and takes
But holy shit, there's a time and a place. We're going up to my in-laws or just some bullshit, and he's like, whoa, hold on, we might have to stop in a field and take a fucking picture. I gotta bring 6 guns. Like, what? What do you mean we're going for family dinner? And it's like loaded up. Like
it was the same thing last night. He shows up last night.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
And he's like, he's like, hey, you guys got time to shoot a couple of scenes for a couple
say no
videos?
more. I already know where this is going.
But like he comes in with a duffel bag, rifle case, other cases, all this stuff. And like we mentioned something, a couple of like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if we did this? He's like, hold on. And he like goes over here and he gets out of his duffel bag. And he's like, dumps a bunch of coins on the table. And he's like, how about a gun and another gun and this? And I've got this mask and a nun outfit. And like, he carries so much stuff around with him.
What's the Scouts motto? Always be prepared. Is that it? I think so. That's him.
Oh my God.
He's a proud Eagle Scout. Stuck with him since.
But he can, it's just his creative side. Like he just knows that when he sees something like on the side of the road.
Totally. And that's the beauty of him. But also for like the type A wife over here, I'm like, let me stab you, like for real. I get it. Like I ask myself, why would he be scared of me? But then like I think about it, I'm like, Kaitlyn, come on. I have to like really have these self-talks with myself and bring me back to, I'm like, listen, bitch, you can be a bit much sometime, okay? Like give him a break.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is me.
I don't even know where to go.
I know. We're
Holy
in it. We're just cycling around here.
So have you found that you've got some more free time? You got kids are in daycare, school stuff now?
So I have one in school. one in school 3 times a week, and then the babies are home. The babies aren't the problem. The 4-year-old is the problem.
Yeah.
Like the babies are chill. They're like, they play really nice together. They're hanging out. They're really easy right now. Thank God. Like, I don't know how I was blessed in that department. It is nice having like Axel go to school though. That's way fucking chill. Cause I'm like, okay, cool. I have 2.5 hours of pure peace and bliss. Like maybe eat a lunch alone. That would be nice. That's chill. But then I tell myself, like, when I'm really in the thick of it and like having these shitty parent moments where I'm like really losing it, I'm like, you know what? One day they're not all gonna be here and they're gonna be in school
It's
all
so
fucking
cliche
day.
though, isn't it?
But it's so true. Because I'm like, they're gonna all be in school one day and I'm gonna have like 6 hours.
That's where my wife's at now.
Around. Like, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, what? I can't even wait. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I gotta push through. Like, this is just like, it's not always gonna be this way. That is like the only reminder I can tell myself to like.
A little bit of light at the end of the
tunnel. I'm like,
yeah.
It's foggy. It's a little dark over there, but maybe.
That's where Brandy's at now. Both the kids are in school.
Yeah.
Kendall just started kindergarten this year, so they're like, she's got some time during the day now where she's like, what do I do with my hands? Like, I don't know what to do, you know?
Right.
So I'm thinking about bringing her, into the office to help get some other stuff done. She helps me a lot with things kind of on the back end, and she's very supportive, and there's a lot of stuff with the kids so that I can, that I can come travel and do this kind of stuff and work and support the family. But she's like starting to lose her mind, and she's like, I need something to do.
Yeah, no, crazy. You get there. Like it just gets to the point where you're like, wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, whew, we're almost there.
Mm-hmm. You said you were in the thick of it. What are some of the things? I'm trying to think of the things that you're going through. Potty training is a thing for you guys.
Fucking A.
Let's talk about that.
All right, I'm going to hit you with this. You're not even going to believe it. I don't know if we even talked about this the other day, but so we're in the thick of potty training with Axel. He's 4, okay? I had him remotely potty trained at like 2.5, and then we just kind of like backpedaled. I don't know when the fuck this happened. I mean, I had like a lot of shit going on, okay? And so it got to the point where like he will pee on the potty, no problem. But when it comes to like taking a shit, he will not go on the potty. I get it. It's a terrifying thought. What if you fall in? I mean, I feel him on the anxiety level. I relate. I'm like, I would feel that way, okay? So what I did one day, I got so pissed off, dude. I was like, I can't take this. Like, you're done pooping in your diaper. I'm over this. I was like, why don't you go outside and poop? And he was like Pepper. Pepper's our dog. And I was like, yeah, just like Pepper. Pop it like a squat and let it drop. You feel me? And he went out there and no shit. Every day around 5 to 7 p.m. now, we go outside. He pops it like a squat and he poops. And I just scoop it like it's dog poop. And that's that. And that is the only way I have gotten him to shit. Yeah. So there's that. So, it's funny because like I think of this shit when now that I hear myself saying it, like people always think like, wow, you have such a great life. And I'm like, if only you knew like the daily things I deal with. Oh, yeah. My 4-year-old shits outside like my dog. Hi, my name's Kaitlyn. Like, what the fuck? Who does this? Who am I? I don't even know. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's the only remedy I had. So now it's like escalated. Like now, like for example, the other day he didn't go all day and I was kind of nervous, right? Because I'm like, it's like 8:30. It's dark as fuck. Like, what's he gonna do? It's cold. We live in Utah. It's like 30 degrees, right? So the other day he comes upstairs and he's like, Mommy, I have to poop outside. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I need a flashlight. And I'm like, what? He gets a flashlight. I cannot even make this up. Mind you, when he goes outside, he's full frontal, strips down, like no clothes can be on. Like, God forbid the shirt's on. I don't know what the complex is with that, but he has to be barren in his primal state, right? Okay, so he gets this flashlight. I'm so impressed by this. I can't even be mad. He took it, he placed it on our patio table so it projected onto the grass beautifully. He proceeded to go in front of that in his lighted area and do his business and dropped a log. And that was that. I can't. I'm just so proud that he put the flashlight. And so, but now I'm like, so then like last night I tried to pull some shit. Like I really tried to fuck with him. He's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, you can't. There's a... I got so pissed. I had such a day. I was so over it. I was like, I don't want to be a mom. And he's like, I gotta poop outside. And I'm like, you can't. There's a raccoon out there and he is so scary. He has giant teeth and he will probably try to bite you. And shit, I put the fear of God. I put the fear of God in that kid. He was stressed. He was panicked. He was like, what? Where is the raccoon? He goes, what about the front door? And I go, nope, he's been hopping back and forth. This is like a new fun thing I do as a parent is like, I lie to my kids now. I don't lie in any other aspect of my life, but to my kids, it's really helping me out. And it's kind of fun actually, because then they're like, wait, what? And you just see them like, you can just kind of fuck with them and you're like, yeah, I know. Can you believe it? And then it's like, oh, daddy has to go to work. I'm like, I know, like, we can't go down to see him because there's all this construction and the railroad's closed. And like, I make up these whole stories where he's like, oh my gosh, Mommy, what? I'm like, I know. I can't believe it either. Yeah, it's just a fun thing I do now. It's fine. But anyway, so he shits outside. Yeah, so the other two are in diapers. And my 4-year-old shits outside. This is literally me. Oh, I can't. I know. And now I'm fucked because he won't go inside. He will not. And he has like a little potty.
Does he hold it at school and he like daycare, forget about it?
He pees at school, never has to shit at school. But if I gave him like a yogurt before, I'm sure he'd have to, and then he'd panic. But he doesn't go then. I know his time. And if it's any time after that, I start getting nervous because I'm like, it's going to snow soon. Then what? Like, what's going to happen then? I don't know.
It's going to be steamy.
I don't know. But he's gone. He's gone on the potty before, but he's just got this whole complex of like, nope.
A lot of kids get scared in the public bathrooms because it's like a crazy environment. It's new.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Forget
public
it.
restroom, toilets, loud. They flush.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing worse than taking your kid in one though, because it's like, just like, you're like, I gotta build a nest. You're like, hey, don't let your peeper touch this. Like, oh my gosh, watch it. Oh yeah.
And like, here I am.
You need to like Purell your body after that.
Yeah. Well, I had that. It was awful. I got to the point where like, I would make sure the kids went to the bathroom at home as much as possible. And it's like, you're going to lunch, you go to this public restroom, and I got to take my 2 girls into the men's room.
Yeah.
And it's like just piss everywhere.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, so you take like a half hour to clean the stupid toilet in some public restroom, and you're like, don't touch anything.
And then they're like, wait.
Oh my
do, and you're like,
God, it's
your brain just
awful.
explodes. Yeah,
It's
no,
terrible.
Yeah. You're like, cue the aneurysm. Okay,
Yeah,
totally.
I mean, it's just insane.
No, it's awful. This is parenthood. This is what we do. This is us now. So
This is who we
welcome
are.
to the club.
I feel like we need to do a documentary video on the WifeSpot.
Honestly, like true Hollywood story. Here I am.
I don't know how you guys haven't gotten a reality show.
I know.
I mean, and it's
People
crazy.
have tried.
And
People have tried.
I bet. I mean, it's insane. But the you talk about everyone thinks, oh, you got this perfect life and all this stuff, and like I've been to the house, I know what's going on, and like you know what I mean, where it's like
It's a shit show.
it's a shit show.
Yeah, it is.
In all reality,
100%.
with 3 kids, the dogs.
Oh my
Vaughn's
God.
got stuff just showing up, and people
Everywhere.
are showing up, and all
All
this
the
stuff.
time.
And there's just
And I'm just standing in the middle of it at the epicenter, like trying not to fucking explode myself. That's literally how I think of it. It's unreal. Like the messages I used to get from people, like they'd be like, well, you have this perfect life. How can you complain? How can you do this? And I'm like, I remember one time I was pregnant and I lost my mind on this one girl. I usually like don't fuck with people, right? I mind my own fucking business, but she was like, you have no struggles. You don't have this, that. And I just went down the list. And I was like, you have no idea. It's like, we have bills. We have a mortgage. We have this. Like, you don't even know the struggles. Like, that's the shitty thing about Instagram is like, people see your pictures and this, that, and the other. And like, that's the beautiful thing though about having the story option. And that's why I really try to utilize that because for a long time, people were like, well, you don't know what the struggle is or this, that, and the other. And it's like, you don't even fucking know. You don't even know my life. You see just pictures from my day and the best pictures I want to post because those are my favorite pictures. And those are like the best memories I have. Right. But then you post the stories and people see it and they're like, holy shit, she's like completely different than what we thought. And it's like, yeah, I know I'm a normal person, believe it or not. People, they think that just because you have an Instagram, for some reason, you're not, like you don't struggle. You don't, stuff. You just have everything handed to you. And it's kind of become a problem where people are like, well, you're just successful because you have a following or this. And it's like, people need to understand, like, it's not like I just got this following on a silver platter. I had to earn this following. Same with Vaughn. Like we get this all the time and it drives us nuts because it's like, you're just mad that that people happen to follow us and like what we post. Like I can't apologize that I literally have just been myself and people like to watch that and follow along with our life.
Right.
But we've never like bought followers or anything like that. And it's just like, we built this shit.
Right.
Like,
a lot of sacrifices
people forget
along the way.
That.
A lot
they
of
get
risks.
so jealous of it. They're like, what the fuck? Well, you have this. So you get all the recognition or you get this. And it's like, well, fuck, get going then. Like, I don't know what else to say. Put in the work, put in the time.
A lot of people aren't willing to take that risk.
They're not.
Here you guys were new parents of the baby and Vaughn's like, yeah, I'm going to quit my job and risk it all to be on Instagram.
Totally.
That's crazy. A lot of people aren't willing to take that risk and put in the work it takes to
and they
get
don't
to
want to
where you
like
guys-
show that side, but you have to like be vulnerable. It's hard when like you're dealing with stuff too, because a lot of the time I feel like it's not that people don't want to talk about it. I feel like they don't know how to talk about it, where they're like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to tell you guys like if certain things are going on because you don't want to have like a pity party, but you're just trying to figure out your own shit. You're still a human. You're still dealing with like all your own personal shit and stuff that people don't see because it's none of their business. Like whatever goes on here in this aspect of your life, that's between you and whoever, you know? And I feel like it's just hard because people they just assume. And until you like check them real hard in the throat, they're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, you're just like me. And it's like, yeah, I actually am. People just happen to follow along with my life. That is literally the only difference.
You guys have a YouTube channel for that too. There's a family vlog. It's Meet the Spots. Which has had some success. And there's some.
So we kind of took a break from YouTube for a hot second. We had Rebel, and I think it was probably after that because I was such a pain in the ass to film with when I was pregnant and like, Mark, I wanted to stab him. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You're in my fucking way. I'm a mom of 3. Watch out. Like, he was just, and I was like, this is just not the time. And like, it was just, I had to like figure out like my new normal. So we kind of took a break from that. We'll be back. We had like a bajillion episodes. We did like 2 seasons of Meet the Spots.
Right.
And it's just our daily life of the chaos that goes on and people watch it. And I think it's so good for them to see that because they're like, oh, wow, they are just like me and my family. Like, we really are. There's nothing crazy. We just put more time and effort into this avenue or that avenue, and that's why we are who we are. Like, it's nothing. There's no crazy, like, secret to success here. It's just putting the time.
How's it been having your life and the family in the spotlight with, like, putting it all out publicly like that? Has it been crazy? It
has been crazy. It has been a lot. Like at first, oh my gosh, it was so annoying. Like the first couple of years, I was like, like people always just freak out when they meet Vaughn. Like full grown, like burly ass men are like shaking when they meet him. And I'm like
total
what?
fanboy.
Like really? Like he still pisses me off. He's still a husband. Like let us not forget, okay? But yeah, it's a trip because people come up to you and like it's just kind of a lot. And then it's hard because you have to be vulnerable. Like you have to show your life and you have to kind of choose which aspects you want them to see, I guess. And it's like, hey, a lot of the time I'm struggling too, like, you know, and so I guess I just kind of try to use my platform to just relate to people. And I just always remember to like, just be myself. Like, that's all I can do is just like, nobody's me and I'm just going to be myself and put it out there. And hopefully they like it.
Have you guys had weird experiences from that or like negative experiences from that?
Totally. So Vaughn's Instagram, for a while they're like, it's great. Like it is amazing how much success he has had, but with it has come a lot of negativity, like in the sense of like, you know, people like say like there's always going to be haters, right? That say this or that, or like there's always going to be like typical Instagram hoes that like slide into the DMs or this, that, and the other. And you got to kind of deal with it. And it's hard because you're choosing to put yourself out there. Like you're choosing to be vulnerable and you have to kind of accept that the consequences that not everything's going to be positive in that aspect. But it's just kind of how we have chose to dealt with it. And yeah, it's kind of been a challenge sometimes where it's hard for me because I'm like, oh, it's hard for me to, for a while there, it was hard for me to support it because it was causing me like just so much backlash and like negativity from him that it was just stressing me out. And like people just like, for some reason, people on Instagram like don't know boundaries sometimes, right? It's insane because you're like, I know you would not look me in the face and say that to me, but they're keyboard warriors. Like it's insane. But like people need to realize that, you know, I'm an actual person. Like I have fucking feelings. Like everything you say, like, yeah, we try to choose like not to like listen to the haters and shit like that. But damn, like it takes a toll sometimes. And especially when people like attack you as like a parent or something like this. Like I had a girl like a month ago, this bitch, oh my God. I went to Vegas for my birthday. I was like, hey, I'm going to go with my best friend. Cool. And she like commented on one of my photos and was like, this is ridiculous. You're always partying. You're always this. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I am always with my kids. I am always home. I went to Vegas for 3 days. I was like, for real? But it's funny because then it's like the double-edged sword where it's like, oh, okay, but are you going to go bitch at my husband because he's gone all the time? Like, what the fuck, you know? And it's like, you know what? I've got 3 kids under 3.5. If I want to go to Vegas and have a couple beverages and get litty in the city, I'm going to go do it. You feel me? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
like,
you have to. It's how you stay. It's how you keep some sanity of
you
like.
You have to.
Get your mom to help with the kids or a friend or a family member or somebody.
You have to survive.
Leave your husband at home for a few days and like, listen, I need some me time. I'm out.
Unreal though.
You have to
People
stay
just assume they're just like, well, you post this and that. And it's like, well, guess what? Like I go to bed every night with my kids. Like I've only spent so many nights away from them. Like, are you kidding me? It's just, but
it's
people
so
just assume.
Easy to judge other people.
Everybody,
judgment kills me.
Unbelievable. And I'm like, and then I put her in check and then some other guy like in my comments was like, she's with her kids all the time. Did you do? And she's like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, how do you not? Like, what do you mean? Like, and it's just, they just choose. It's kind of like they choose what they want to see. Yeah, it's a trip, right? Because people are just so ballsy on Instagram. And it's like, and like a lot of the time I'm like, okay, if you have a problem, like direct message me or here's my number and you can call me and we can have a chat. Like if you're really that perturbed, like what the fuck did I do to you?
Yeah.
Nothing. You're just kind of probably dealing with your own shit and you're lashing out on me and that's fine. Maybe you should go to a therapist. I don't know. Just a thought. Just saying.
Oh my gosh. I think we about covered just about everything at this point.
I know.
Man,
we better watch it
I don't even know where to go from here.
I know.
It's like
I know.
One thing we try to get out of everybody, because there's so many new parents listening and parents to be, do you have any advice that you would give for a first-time parent?
I would say always make time for yourself, even though I feel like it's really hard to do that. I remember when we had just our first Axel, Vaughn literally had to like force me to leave to go to Target for like an hour because I didn't want to leave him because I felt so guilty leaving him. I'm like, I'm his mom. Like, I got to be with him. And I felt so, I would leave and I would call him like 10 fucking times. I'm like, is he okay? Is he okay? Like, I think I got to go nurse him. I don't know. Like, I was freaking out. But I needed that time. Like, even if you don't think you do, you do. You have to have that time so you can still feel like a person. So you can still feel like, okay, like I can breathe. Like, it's going to be fine. Like, if you just bombard yourself with like never leaving the house, like you're gonna go into a downward spiral. I feel like that. And like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, don't be afraid to like all those people that reach out to you and they're like, let me know if I can help you. Like, I'm the type of person that I don't like to ask for help at all because I'm independent boss ass bitch. But but you kind of have to. Like, I remember people be like, can I come help you? Like, how about you take a nap and I'll take the baby? And I'm like, no, like I'm good. But I wish I would have taken that help.
Right.
And then I finally got to the point where I did. And I was like, cool, yeah, that would be chill so I can get some things done. But like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, we're all just trying to make it go one day at a time. Like, you're gonna be fine, but like you have to just like slow it down, check yourself and be like, you're gonna have really shitty days and you're gonna have really great days. And a lot of the time the great days outweigh the good or the bad. And like you have this new little human that you created and like how cool is that? And you have to remember that like you're here to like help make them the person that they're gonna be. So you have to be your best self if you're going to do that. Like you have to put in the time for yourself, I feel like, if you're going to project that onto somebody else. And just having self-care. And it's not being selfish. There's a very big difference between being selfish and self-care. But I feel like it's something that's really important that nobody like can grasp onto. It's really hard for moms, I feel like.
Well, it's really hard to the self-care thing is a big deal. And it goes back to a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about lately and myself. And I was the worst one. I've been the worst person for self-care ever in history, I feel like, because I finally just started going to the gym again and trying to take care of myself because you start to realize like, damn, if I want to be around for a long time to make sure and take care of my kids and do all these things, like I need to take care of myself. Totally. You know what I mean? And it sounds so cliche, but it's true. And it's not that difficult. Like I had to mentally get into that mindset to do those things. And it's not that difficult. If you just make a little bit of a conscious effort to eat a little bit better and to move your body a little bit more. And I mean, and like sleep. Like sleeping is super good for you. You really have to. You have to.
Like, and especially when you first have a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like getting PTSD, the thought. Oh my God. But like the first, like until you can like sleep train them, I mean, like I highly, what worked for us with Axel and then like the babies, I wasn't as like strict with it, but I did get them like on a bit of a schedule because that helped me because I function better with a schedule. So I feel like you just kind of have to listen to yourself and like what's going to help you throughout your day. Is it having a schedule? Is it like having this time or asking the neighbor or like if you have family around, hey, can you take the baby for like an hour or this, that, and the other? Like you have to figure out what works best for you because you can't be a good parent if you're fucking losing it. Like you got to check yourself. Like if you're there, you got to take a fucking step back, like go to the gym, do this. Like now I go to the gym every single morning, usually around 6. Do I want to go at 6? No, I would rather probably blow my brains out. But I go because it's mind over matter for me. I go so I can mentally like be in a fucking good place. Do I still lose my shit throughout the day? Of course. But it helps me like bring it back down. I know that when I'm feeling that way, it's just a temporary feeling. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And that's when I know like, okay, I need some time. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we're to the point where Vaughn can see when I'm there and he's like, okay, this bitch needs some time. And I'll like just run to the store or I'll do this. And it's like amazing what 1 hour can do for you without your kids.
Just clear your head for a little bit.
And people give you such a hard time. They're like, well, you're saying this. And it's like, no, but that's realistic. Like you have to, it's not like I love my kids more than fucking anything, but like I gotta have my time too.
You have to.
I will lose it.
Taking care of yourself so you can take care of them. And
it's
if that's
important.
clearing your head for an hour, that's clearing your head.
And
for
that's
an hour,
fine. Like you shouldn't feel guilty about that. You're still a person too. Yeah, you're a mom or your dad, but like you gotta go. You're still a human.
Which is a lot of what you sell even through Arbonne, right? With nutritional stuff, which I didn't realize. I mean, I guess I knew there was nutritional stuff there through Arbonne.
Yep.
What is that kind of stuff?
So there's like protein powder we have. There's a prebiotic and a probiotic I take every day. There's a detox tea. There's these things called fizzies. They're like mom crack. No shit. Like these are unreal. So they're 55 milligrams alkaline caffeine. It's unreal. Like I don't like crash from them or anything like that. They just get me going. I have like, I don't even know, probably like 5 or 6 a day. I just mix them in my water. They're super low in calories. There's no sugar, no artificial flavors, anything like that. Like they're just super clean. So the good news is when I started using all those products, I was like, okay, cool. At least I know like what I'm putting in me is going to be really good for me. And I'm not like grabbing a bag of chips because convenience was fucking key for me. And it's so convenient because these protein shakes, like I was just having, it's a meal replacement too. So it's nice. Like, oh, I need a snack or something, or I'm on the go. All I need is water and ice, put my protein in it, put my fizzies, put my prebiotic, my probiotic. We have like everything you could think of, a multivitamin, there's a greens powder, there's literally something for everyone. And that's another reason why I chose Arbonne, because it wasn't just like makeup or skincare. It could be a family
and it's
affair.
not just for women. And
Right,
I think that's important because a lot of people, I'm sure, feel that this is just for women. It's just makeup
Definitely
stuff.
not.
And it's just, and even when the fizzies, you're like, it's like mom crack, but it could be like dad crack too.
Totally.
And
Vaughn
I think it's,
loves them.
okay, right.
And Vaughn, oh God, pray for him. He will join my squad one day. I will retire his ass, but he loves it too. And I'm like, I mean, I've been telling him for a while, I'm like, you're using these, you're talking about, I'm like, you could just be making a paycheck from it. It's just as simple as anybody else. He's just like anybody else. It's like, well, you love it. And every time I just shop for my own store. So every time I place an order, I make money back. It's just like, oh, well, I would buy this shit anyway. I'm just choosing the cleaner option. I'd be using protein anyway, or I'd be buying something for energy, an energy drink or whatever the fuck, right? And I just kind of replaced it with that. But it can be, and there's so many husbands that do this or guys that do it and are so successful. And it's like, why can't they do it? It's just health as well. Like it's in. Why can't they do it? You know? And there's a men's skincare line, and yeah, okay, they don't do makeup or whatever, but like nutrition is the name of the game. They can go in and just explore that avenue, and that's fine. But health is so important to everybody.
Super, because when you don't take care of yourself and you're low on energy and you're not sleeping enough and you're running on empty, you get lazy about what you're doing, you get lazy about what you're eating, and it compounds, it gets worse. You get lazy about the way you're parenting and you let your kids just do whatever because you're like, screw this, I don't have time or energy or whatever. Right. And then everything just kind of goes downhill.
Yep.
So sleep is something that I used to not sleep hardly at all. I'd sleep like 5 hours a night, and I'd work from like 7 a.m. to like midnight, and like constantly for years and years and years and years until recently. But now I go to bed. I get like 7 or 8 hours of sleep.
Same. Now I do. I make it such a thing. I go to bed earlier. It's
I have to.
Okay. Like you have to make the sacrifices for those changes. Like as soon as I just knew I had to make some changes. Like I wasn't like unhealthy, but I wasn't as healthy as I am now. Like I always was like, oh, like, okay, like eating decent, remotely well. But now I'm like pretty fucking clean, like usually no gluten, no dairy, anything like that. And because I just made it a priority because I wanted to see what I could really do. I wanted to see like, what is my full potential in every fucking aspect? Like how lean can I get, or how can I get like this? And I just wanted to level up. And that's when I made that decision and did Arbonne, and
and it seems like it's affected Vaughn too. Cause I mean, I was like, when I seen him this week, I'm like, Vaughn, you're getting skinny, bro. Yeah. Like, and he's been working out.
He made it a priority. He made his health a priority. He had to. And it's a big deal. He really has done great. And I mean, I tried to fucking tell him this for years. I'm like, maybe drink some more water. Like, you had like 2 drops today. I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm like putting down a gallon like it's nothing. And I tried to tell him this, but but then he finally realized like, shit, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's 36.
As we get older and
he's getting up there. And I was like, hey, I want you to kind of be around, so can you get it together? And then he just does what I do. And I just taught him how to, make his shakes and that. And he likes it because it's convenient for him too. He can take the travel packs to go, and it just kind of works for us. It fits our lifestyle so well, and it fits most people's lifestyles too, because everybody wants shit because it's convenient, right? Like nobody wants to put in the time to do this or that and the other, and it just makes it so much easier for us. And we both have benefited tenfold. So
that's awesome.
God bless.
All right. Well, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me at TheWifeSpot on Instagram. I also have a Facebook. My name is Kaitlyn Nicole Neville. I know I have a name. But yeah. And you can follow Meet the Spots on YouTube. It's our family vlog. I'm pretty sure I'm pregnant in most of the episodes. So in case you're wondering what I look like when I'm not like an angel sent from above, that's that.
Where can they find the Arbonne stuff if they're interested in that?
So they can message me, or you can email me at TheWifeSpot@gmail.com, and we can get you all set up with any questions you have. Or if you want to like scope out some products, if you go to my Instagram at TheWifeSpot, the link in my bio, you can click, and that takes you to the Arbonne website, and you can look at the products or whatever you want to know, but you can always reach out with questions.
Awesome.
I'm here to help.
You're the best.
God bless
you. This is like literally my favorite episode yet.
Probably.
It was too funny.
Yeah. We knew it would be the favorite before we even fucking started.
Ooh-wee. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments, ratings, all the things. We would appreciate it. See you guys in the next episode.
God bless.
Peace.